One of the reasons I'm such a fan of Lego Castle was watching BBC's Merlin through 2008 and onwards. Merlin was hot shit. It was the bee's knees. You had the 2000s rubbery CGI monsters, plot lines so formulaic you forget what season you're even watching. There's almost zero character development, and if there is development, it makes no sense. And yet, it's just so charming. If you don't take it too seriously, you can have a lot of fun, and in all honesty, the aesthetics are actually quite tasteful. Like, it really captures the timelessness of Arthurian legends, because the aesthetics sort of span the whole medieval period, from late antiquity to the high medieval period. I mean, Camelot itself is such a kind of 15th century, 16th century, huge grand French chateau, and yet it's so full of Dark Ages, druids, and magic and all this stuff. And just generally, the sets, the costumes and music are really brilliant. But yeah, it was Merlin that really began my obsession with Lego Castle. I remember that period of my life quite vividly, coming back from school, switching on Merlin and making the sets and characters from the show and doing my own spin on the stories. But I didn't have the collection that I have today, so I'm going to show my attempt at making Lego Merlin. Lego Merlin is actually quite easy if you want to make it, because the wardrobe just does not change for pretty much the entire show. The maidens get the most varied outfits, but everyone else, Arthur, Merlin, Gaius, Uther, pretty much wear the same outfit day in, day out. I mean, Merlin enters Camelot in the first season wearing the same grubby jacket and scarf that he wears leaving it in the 5th season. And for that grubby jacket, Filcher's torso is the best, and it pairs quite well with Loki's legs. This head has a good cheeky expression, a simple black mop, and a messenger's bag, and voila. He also transforms into Emrys numerous times. For Emrys, the main thing is his long white beard, and I'd say the Viking chieftain's head with this long white hair. You don't have to worry too much about the rest of the minifig, so long as you give him modest dark red robes. Gaius has a couple fits throughout the whole thing, but he mostly wears sand blue robes, so you can use the medieval town square torso and simple sand blue skirt and arms. This blonde 2005 Anakin hair is exactly his cut. Alas, it's not white, but it pairs so well with the traumatized look on the judge's head. You can almost hear him. Merlin, what have I told you about using magic in Camelot? Anyway, Uther, the Grief Karga minifig, is spot on. That is exactly him. He's always wearing these dark blood red robes with the medallions, just in case you were unsure if he was a war criminal. The Gunslinger head is quite close to Anthony Head's head, but it's mainly closer to his character. You've got that determination and sternness. We don't have any modest crowns that suit the ones that he wears in the show, so I'm just using this hairpiece. Now, I always thought Arthur's armour was way too modest for a prince, but nevertheless, it's just chainmail, legs and torso from 2013 Lion Knights. I've given him also the Paladin arms and his signature shoulder armour. This messy hair in blonde is exactly Arthur, and we need another head with the Pendragon cheekbones, so this one works really well. They do actually look related. He also needs something special for Excalibur, so here's Strider's sword from Rivendell. It almost fits into this clip, but I don't want to risk damaging it. Like I say, the women's outfits vary the most in the show. In the early seasons, Morgana wears a lot of blues, purples, and greens. I think this minifig from the Joust set is perfect. The green and the long belt is suggestive of a sneaky character in the first seasons. Later on, of course, Morgana becomes the show's main antagonist and wears black ragged clothes, which are basically stitch for stitch Harry Potter's Bellatrix. Like, even the hair is almost exactly the same. Unfortunately, I don't have Bellatrix, so I'm just using the Duchess minifig, as it has this sort of cobwebby kind of look to it, Whilst I'm at it, here's Morgana's sister Morgause. Pretty simple, just use Elizabeth Swan's skirt with the fortune teller torso, any long blonde hair, and a cunning expression on the head. This hairpiece is actually is in the in-store Builder minifig stations. I've also thrown on the arms from Batman's bathrobe, the one I used in the first video. Morgana's co-conspirator in the 4th season is the aptly named Agravain, because he was so annoying. Like, we had 2 seasons of Morgana as a traitor inside Camelot. She gets exiled, and the writers just replaced her energy with Agravain. Anyway, I'm using here the Serpent Knight from the Horse Knight Castle, this smug head, and this wavy haircut. Gwen has much more modest robes between her roles as a blacksmith's daughter and handmaid to Morgana. Her colour is mostly lavender, so this corseted torso, which randomly appears also in the Boulder minifig stations, is almost precisely her fit. The best skirt to pair with it is from Madame Malkin. Now, I don't know where I got this head from, but it does look exactly like her. This kind of reluctant smile, the suppressed anxiety, and also this lopsided grimace on the back is also Morgana, throughout the show. I think she might be the closest to the actual show among the whole lot of these minifigs that I've made. The Knights of Camelot are all pretty easy. It's just chainmail and red cloaks. That's all you need. So again, the 2013 Lion Knights, but also the Red Falcon and torsos are ideal for this. One of the reasons I got so many when they were out in stores was because of that little brooch. It's just so indicative of late antique Anglo-Saxon styles, which is actually the cultures that the Arthurian myths are set around. Now they all get swords, and the best shield would be the 2014 Dragon Knights, but I don't have any of them. Here's Gawain, my favourite knight for sure, giving the smolder. He needs these locks. Lancelot is also pretty straightforward. The show did their own spin on Lancelot. They had him as a sort of noble pretender trying to be a knight, so I've given him some less courtly looking chainmail. Percival's pretty straightforward. This headpiece is the best for him, but the main thing with Percival is having his guns out, so we're just changing the arms to yellow. Gwen's brother Elian becomes a knight later on. He has this sort of stony yet elfin face, so this head is probably the best. Sir Leon, honestly my least favourite of the knights. All looks, no brain. He absolutely cocks up the defence of Camelot. But here he is with this gormless expression. I don't quite have the hair, but this is fine. And of course Mordred. I really enjoyed his arc. The expression on this head has something so individualistic about it. I use it a lot for like stoic guardsmen. And of course this black hobbit hair. I was surprised the actor never got to play a young Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock. He looked so alike. For standard Camelot guardsmen, it's the same minifig as the knights, just without the cape, and they have nasal helms. Ironically, more protection than the actual Knights of Camelot. My favourite villain in the whole show is probably the Goblin, so naturally I'm using the CMF Goblin head with the Cyclops torso and Moria Orc head. Also another villain, if you have the Serpent Shield, it would be great for Sir Valiant in Season 1, but a Raven Knight would be best for his fit, which I don't have, so this'll do. In all honesty, Merlin is not my favourite on-screen adaptation of the Arthurian tales. The 1980 Excalibur is glorious, and I made a post of it on my Instagram a while back, of my attempt making Lego Excalibur, if you want to check that out. So I'll see you there. Until next time, ta-ta and farewell. But wait, it's time for Merlin Bingo, a drinking game I made at university. Do not try this at home, I will not be held responsible for your deaths.
Have you been eavesdropping?
I haven't dropped no eaves, sir, honest.
So one last thing before I go, this is another BBC historical drama. It's Wolf Hall. It's one of my favourite things to watch, one of my favourite series to watch right now. In the Goonies set, the Gooners set, there's this hat. It's exactly Cromwell. So I had to make him, and he's wearing he's got Lucius Malfoy's torso, and of course he's got Henry VIII. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's all like 2013 kingdoms, and the Scottish hats, the Tam O'Shanter, and that head is exactly him. So I couldn't quite find a great head for Cromwell, but whatever. Anyway, any Wolf Hall fans? This is Lego Wolf Hall.